From the 26th of May 1951 to the 26th of September 1952, all 54 individuals were alive at the same time. Who are they? I'll give you that one more time. From the 26th of May 1951 to the 26th of September 1952, all 54 individuals were alive at the same time. Who are they?
Okay. There's a reason why it's weird. So oftentimes 56 individuals are alive at the same time. One might say for the whole time, that there's been life. So there's a reason why it's weird. That's what we're starting with.
Did Snow White have some dwarves that we didn't know about? And only 7 made it to the movie.
The year is pretty much bang on there, I think. Like early 50s.
Right.
Well done.
But does that have anything to do with the 56 individuals? Is it a Disney thing?
54, just to be clear, all 54.
54.
All 54.
All 54.
Sorry, thank you.
And that doesn't make much of a difference, I'll tell you. But
So can I ask a question? Did somebody die on the last day of this?
yes.
That's what I imagine.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way you can have 54 things alive at the same time, is that if they're all very young. They were all...
Or there's a bunch that had just gotten born, and then there was a bunch that died, and there was like an overlap.
So it was like the oldest one
Yeah.
died on the 26th of September,
But the youngest
1952.
one was born on the 26th of May.
Yes.
May 1951.
So we're talking about a year and a half, aren't we, in terms of
Yeah.
lifespan?
Yeah.
I think.
I think some of them were old at the start of the period.
Okay.
And died. So there was like some that were very young and some that were very old.
Yeah, absolutely spot on. Like 54 individuals only overlapped for that year and a half. You're absolutely right.
Right. There's an overlap.
It's pre-60s. It's not anything to do with like astronauts on the moon.
I was thinking, something about wars. So it's like people who had fought in the Civil War and people who were going to fight in the Gulf War or something. That's silly, but...
So let's say it's humans. Lifespan of, say, about 80 years. If someone was passing away in the
good.
1950s,
Yes.
then they would be born, 1870s? Something like that?
So it is Civil War-ish. Does it have anything to do with wars? Tom, can I ask questions like that?
Not specifically.
Okay.
Most of the 54 on here are household names.
Oh, that's very helpful.
Is it? Household name. I feel like we're talking actors or actresses. It feels Oscar-y to me, and I don't know why.
Yeah. I had Oscars popped into my head too.
I was thinking like fast food magnates or something like that. But,
But there's 54
actors make
of
much
them.
more sense. Famous people or people who share some sort of, career or familial connection.
Right.
Oh, a family. That's not bad.
Because this could be the end of an era if someone chose not to have any more children beyond this person.
They certainly share an attribute, but it's not a familial connection. They are all on a particular list. And it's a list that a nerd like me and possibly some other people who are on this podcast as well will know by heart.
Oh, a list that you will know by heart. Is it something to do with, are they leaders of countries?
Well, the 1952 event, you were right, it was a death. It was the death of George Santayana.
You said there were household names. What household, Tom?
Not this household.
Not this household.
Just Tom's household, the nerdiest
All right,
household.
fine. The 1951 event then, the birth of NASA astronaut Sally Ride.
What list would they be? Like the list of
What
people
is
who got
this
the
list?
prize. But that's weird to quantify it as a list.
Yeah, you are going to hate this answer. Because, you're right. It's what is the list? And it is a list with a load of people and other things. The sweet spot for it is the 1950s for the people who are alive.
There's other things besides people
There's
on the
other
list?
things besides people on the list.
They
Oh,
are...
that's a weird list.
Hank, what are things you know about Sally Ride?
I think Sally Ride was the first woman in space, but I might be wrong about that. She was a woman in space.
Is it a list of the first things in space? Like first dog, first frog?
Oh,
first...
the list of first people in space.
You all know some of this list. I promise you, you all know some of this list. And why might a list be easy to remember?
It's like learning the alphabet. Is it a mnemonic?
So like a mnemonic, yeah.
Hang on, what have there been 50? There have been no, there haven't been 54
It's
presidents.
not a mnemonic, but it's easy to remember.
Santayana.
There's a very small part of the audience just screaming right now.
Yeah.
George,
My great fear.
Sally, George. Oh, I need another thing from the list, I think.
All right, Harry Truman.
Harry Truman's on the list.
I don't know anything about any of these people.
Doris Day.
Doris Day won best song for Que Sera Sera.
Harry Truman, Doris Day, Johnny Ray.
Oh, there are people who we didn't start the fire!
I would never have gotten there.
It's the song we didn't.
Sari famously does not know any popular music. She was raised without popular music in her
Okay,
house.
2 people here will definitely know this
Yeah.
song. Apologies.
Santayana,
No.
Santayana.
Good, yes.
Okay.
The lines in the song
Incredible.
includes Santayana Goodbye. There are 54 individuals name-checked in Billy Joel's We Didn't Start the Fire, and that was...
This is when they were still alive, when everyone
That's
here...
where all of them were alive. That's wild that it was just a year and a half.
So why is the 1950s the sweet spot? Why is it just there?
So the song would have been about 1980 or something like that, late
1989,
70s?
yeah.
So people...
was this when Billy Joel was a child?
Yeah.
Well, people will have had to have been famous enough for them to put in the song, so therefore people will have been born since about 1950. So they need... That's where the overlap happens.
Right.
You need people
Right.
from the 1950s to have already been born.
Yeah, the song is in chronological order. Each line is 1 year later, and then it sort of speeds up
Yeah.
at the end and just goes through the 80s very quickly.
Oh, I didn't know.
It does really. It does. Like it very much is like he started writing and then he ran out of paper and he was like, I guess I'll just do the 80s real fast. And it's like you really had a lot of focus there. It was like a lot happened.
Yeah.
In a fairly narrow. Yeah, you really shoved him into the beginning.
The story goes that he overheard someone complaining that his generation had no history, and so he just wrote the song with all the history he could in it. There is a Fall Out Boy cover from a couple of years ago for kind of our age group, and it is awful. And it is also not in chronological order, which is unforgivable.
Ooh, Fall Out Boy, you could do better.
So yes, there were 18 months, more or less, when all the people name-checked and We Didn't Start the Fire were alive.
That's great, but not all of the things, because some of the things
Oh, well, we didn't include...
had never been alive.
Yeah, we didn't include Edsel, which was a type of car that was named after Henry Ford's son, because he was talking about the car. And New Queen did not specifically name-check Elizabeth II, but she was alive during that period. Thank you, by the way. This is Ben Zotto, who did an analysis and posted online.
Fantastic.
Thank you very much for inspiring that question.